Hey, scholars, it is another Wednesday, and we have Word Problem Wednesday. Okay, so when we do Word Problem Wednesday, we can use a strategy called the 3-read strategy. And the first time we read, we are going to make sure that we think about what's happening in the problem, and we find the verbs, the actions that people are taking, and we visualize. Verbs and visualize. Okay, the second time that we read it, we make sure to mark it. So we mark it up and we talk to ourselves so that we can definitely prove like, hey, I know what's going on in the problem. And then the third time we read it, we add back the numbers or values, okay? So the first 2 times we read it, we ignore the numbers and we just say the word sum. The reason for doing that is so that we don't have to get mixed up by the numbers while we're trying to figure out what's happening in the problem. Okay, so we are going to split this page so that we have 4 boxes. The first box being our visualize box that we will fill out during our reading. So let's give it a go. Remember, we don't read the question yet. That comes at the very end. Okay, so we're just going to stop when we get to each period to draw what we are reading about. There are some students on the red bus. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this, put red bus, draw that there are some students. Keep it really quick and simple because I'm solving a math problem, not doing an art project, right? Okay. There are some more students on the yellow bus than the red bus. Oh, okay, so that means on my yellow bus, it said there are some more students on the yellow bus than the red bus. So it's saying there are students on the red bus, but yellow bus has more students than the red bus. So I'm just going to draw a few more people because I know that the yellow bus has more. Okay. I stopped at both periods. I'm not going to read the question sentence yet. That comes last. Okay, now I mark it and I talk to myself. I'm going to use a different color for this so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay. There are some students on the red bus. Okay, so they are there. So they're probably sitting on the bus. Students, so they're probably going to school since they are students, and that means, well, a bus is something that you ride that takes you to school. I don't think any of those are really all that helpful, but at least it shows like I'm understanding probably the situation a little bit better by understanding that they're coming from school or going to school. I'm not sure if that information will help me with the problem, so I'm going to keep going. There are some more students on the yellow bus than the red bus. Okay, so I do know that the word more is a really great math word, and it's trying to tell me that there is a greater number, or in other words, a bigger number of students on the yellow bus. Okay, than is also an important word because then that means it's comparing the yellow and the red bus and saying, oh, there's a smaller amount of students on this one and a bigger amount of students on the yellow one. So I'm just going to put that up here. The amount of students here is bigger. The amount of students here is a smaller number. Okay. So as a mathematician, I'm now ready to tell myself about the problem. Okay, so there are some students sitting on a bus, and they're probably going to school, and their bus is the red bus. Then there are some other students, and they are on a bus known as the yellow bus. And on the yellow bus, there's a bigger number of people than on the red bus. So there could be like 3 people on the red, while there's like 5 on the yellow. Okay? That's what I'm thinking so far. So now I know that my numbers might be bigger than 3 and 5, but I still understand smaller number on red, bigger number of people on yellow. Okay. Now I can add back all the numbers and read it my third time. I already did these two. I talked to myself to explain. Okay, let's add back the numbers. There are 42 students on the red bus. Okay, 42. It's important to add my numbers into my visual. There are 79 more students on the yellow bus than the red bus. Okay, this is where I have to think for a moment. It didn't say that there are just 79 students on the yellow bus. If it had said that, I would just write 79. But it said there are 79 more of them on the yellow bus than on the red bus. When it says that, it's telling me I'm supposed to take the red bus number and say, okay, there are just as many that are on the red bus, but there are this many more. 79 more. So that's like adding 79 to how many students are on the red bus. Okay, so let's see what it asks me. How many students are on the yellow bus? Well, I don't know yet. I just know that there are 79 bigger, 79 more of them, 79 more students than here, than this number. So, okay, I know exactly what I need to do now. Because if it says there are 79 more, I have to take the number of students on the red bus and put that with the number it said here, because it said 79 more, which means 79 bigger than the number that are on the red bus. Okay, so now I know to find how many are on the yellow bus, I add these two numbers up. Okay, so now I have fully explained exactly why I plan to add, and I was able to do that because I carefully figured out what was going on in the problem. Okay, I also really like to keep in my mind the parts and the whole in this situation. So the part that I knew was the part that was on the red bus. I knew that there had to be 79 more. That's the other part that I'm going to add to find the whole amount of kids who are on that yellow bus altogether. Okay? So let's take this and do a strategy that I love to do, which is just my place value chart. Okay, I'm going to switch a couple of different colors so you can see really well. So you should have already practiced this in our warm-up assignment for today. So I'm going to show a chart that looks like this with 3 spaces. This is my hundreds place. This is my tens place, so everything I draw in there is worth 10. This is my ones place, so everything I draw in here is worth 1. I am going to draw both numbers together because I have a plus sign. So I'm putting them together, my 2 parts. Okay, 42. So let's start by putting 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 ones, 1, 2. Okay, that's my first number. Done with that one. I'm going to go with the second color for the second number. This is 7 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome. Okay. I am so ready to count them all up together, but I know, because I pay close attention, that I'm like a really good mathematician. I know that if I have more than 10 in a place, that's just not possible. Okay, so what I mean by this is if I get a group of 10 in my ones, 10 ones makes 110. If I get 10 tens, that's the same as 100. So I have to show that in my chart and draw a circle around them when I want to combine my ones or my tens, okay, to make a new 10 or a new 100. All right, so I already see that this is 5 because I was smart and I lined them up in an organized way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more to make it into 10. So I'm going to take one more. That's 10 ones. Okay, they're not going to be in my ones place anymore. I'm going to make a new 10. Awesome. Okay, then I'm coming over here and I see, I definitely think I have 10 tens. And I know if I have 10 tens, that makes 100. Let's see if I do. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I used these 3, and I'm going to double check that that makes 100 because they're all worth 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so I made 100, and those aren't there anymore because I just bundled them together to make a new 100. Okay, so now I know that I can count up what is not inside of my bundles. Okay, so that's going to be my complete answer. So I will start with my ones. I have 1, 1, 1, 2. I can't forget this one. 1, 2, 2 tens, and 100. That makes 121. So I think this is equal to 121, but that was only strategy number 1. Okay, so I'm going to put strategy 1. Now I am definitely sure that I should check my work because even a small little mistake, is going to get us a completely wrong answer. So I'm going to come over here and I choose the strategy we did last week. So last week we talked about the number bond strategy. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, and that's where I pull the numbers apart and show what their tens are worth and what their ones are worth, and then I can put them back together. So this one says 42, so I know it's worth 40 and 2. This one says 79. I know it's worth 7 tens, which is 70, and 9 ones, which is 9. Now I put my tens with my tens and my ones with my ones. So 70 and 40. I'm going to try that first. 70 and 4 more tens. 70, 4 more tens. 80, 90, 100, 110 more. 110. Okay, so together, 70 and 40 make 110. 9 and 2 more. 9 in my head, 2 on my fingers, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now I am ready, and that's a much easier number sentence for me to add together. I might even be able to easily stack them on top of each other now to add them. So I could go 110 plus 11. I have to be careful when I stack them to line up my ones and my tens. And I only have 100. Okay, so my ones make 1. 110 plus another 10 is 2. 100 plus no other hundreds is 1. That is the same answer. Woo woo. So now I know I was able to get to the same answer using 2 different strategies. I'm way more confident that I got it right. So now all that's left is to explain what I did. So that is box number 4, my explanation. So in my explanation, I make sure to use part of the question to write my answer sentence first. So how many students are on the yellow bus? Students. How many? 121 students. I don't use the question word. I don't need to use how many. 121 students are on the yellow bus. I know this because in the problem, it said there were 79 more students on the yellow bus than the red bus. So when I broke down or decomposed, I should use the fancier word. When I decomposed 42 and 79, I saw that 40 plus 70 is 110, and 2 plus 9 is 11. If I put that together, I'm running out of room, put that together, it makes 121. Okay, so you might want to start by writing a little bit smaller than me and writing it towards the top of the box, but you can't quite see it. There we go. So that's just an example. Usually when you explain, you want to kind of say like, well, in the problem it said this, and that's why I added them together, and then here's how I added them together, and kind of break down some of the things that you did in one of the strategies. So I tried to explain this strategy a little bit because it just felt a little bit easier to explain to me. Okay, so let's see the hard work you do today. I cannot wait.